And let's start. Have enough support. Choose the cross of your legs according to the opposite you did last time. Roll your inner thighs down to the floor, flesh diagonally out and back, and see that your legs are resting into the arches of your feet. Your knees are resting into the arches of the feet. If that's not the case, even if there's a little gap, Debbie, please will you just mute yourself? I don't know why it's not muting automatically. So even if there's just a little bit of a gap, take that blanket so that you feel that settling in the legs, that you can sit for a long time. When the legs are floating, we've spoken about this before, how there's that gripping and tightness in the hips. So when the legs feel supported, then the hips are more willing to relax. As the hips relax, then they have more possibility of opening. So don't be lazy to set yourself up properly to sit, because you don't know how long I'm going to keep you sitting. Often it's short, but who knows, today it might be 15 minutes. And then you don't want to regret that you didn't take the proper setup. Fingertips to the side, roll your shoulders back and down, connect front waist to back waist, top buttocks down as you lift the trunk away from the legs. Shoulders pull back and down as you lift the sternum from inside without disturbing the pillars of the back. So all four pillars of the trunk are long and stable, with this special attention to the back body. Now all of this stays. Watch your legs, feel how they're resting down, and only your arms move. Your legs stay as they are, your trunk stays as it is, and bring your hands into Namaskarasana. Gently put your hands into each other as you widen across the collarbones, widen across the upper back as well, so that when you begin to open and move one part of the body, you don't do it at the expense of another. Feel as you roll that armpit chest up, keeping the top buttocks down, how you can roll the shoulders back and down. How it's not opposites, as in one part is lifting, another part going down, and it feels like you do one thing and you lose another. Instead, see how it's the continuation of the same thing in a circuit. So as the front lifts, as the armpit chest lifts, the shoulders release back and down. As the top buttocks move down, the front waist can easier move towards the back waist. The top buttocks moving down are still part of that circuit of the shoulders moving down. And feel how things are connected, are not actually separate, but just different parts, different threads of that whole that you are. How your breath is part of that whole, how your breath is woven through your body, how your breath creates the lift in your chest, creates the connection front waist to back waist, through the consciousness and observing of your breath, how you thread your mind into your body, how being connected to your body is no longer just being connected to your body, how being embodied is also connected to your breath. is also your mind being anchored in the present moment. And with all of those parts of your being coming together, becoming aware of that deeper dimension of self. And this, what seems like a contradiction, but isn't, how we come closer into ourselves, how we draw the different elements of our being closer together, doesn't create a sense of restricted space, it creates a sense of expanded space, expanded self. How the space within you is also the space of the entire universe. And how you can stay resting in that space almost effortlessly. Because you have this expanded view of yourself, you're able to bring your mind back, thread it back into your breath, your body, without it having gone too far into your thoughts. Your spine has maintained its lift. Face, eyes, brain, stay relaxed. Breath continues to flow freely. And again, coming to the contact between your hands, using this mudra of Namaskarasana, the seal, to stabilize your posture, to stabilize the state of inner connection and expansion as we sit in silence for a while longer. And anything that you may hear from outside, let it be a support, a reminder to redirect your awareness inwards. And now, silently within yourself, you'll begin to chant Om at least 3 times, but maybe even more if there's time, depending on when I tell you to stop. So just keep going with that silent repetition of the pranava Om, with awareness for each part of the Om, the A, U, and M, Keep your face relaxed even as you chant the Oms, and keep using your breath to chant the Oms internally. And finish off your last Om. Again, scan yourself to see if you lost anything in your posture, in the relaxation of your face, your brain. Bring yourself back to an optimal state of balance. And just for another brief moment, sitting in silence and observing your inner state. Allowing that sense of inner presence to diffuse from your innermost sense of being all the way to the outer layers of being, through each and every cell of your body, into your skin. Into that sense of your energy field around you. That you have an expanded sense of awareness from inside to outside, outside to inside. Take a slightly deeper inhalation. Keep your sternum lifted, shoulders back, and as you exhale, bow your head. And salute the divine light within. By whatever name or form you choose. And let us offer our deep gratitude to the masters of yoga, from Patanjali to our Guruji, for this day's practice. Release your hands to your thighs. Inhale, lift your head. And quietly let your eyes open towards the floor in front of you. Good. Okay. So just to clarify a little bit, when I say expanded, there's a difference between expanded and inflated. So we don't want an inflated sense of self, obviously. We want an expanded sense of self. So if you think about how often when we talk about lifting, and I say to lift from the inner body, not the outer body. If we try and work to create an expanded sense, but only from the outer layers, then we can have that sense of being inflated, that puffed up chest, that it's all coming from the outside. When we think of doing it from the inside, it's different. And it's not just all forward, it's from all around, sides, back, inside, to outside. And then we get that sense of expansion, of space, of lightness, of openness. And when there's a flow between inside and outside, it's not all pushed outside. So with that awareness of opening up from inside, that's how we're going to practice today. So come straight away. You can step or jump your feet apart. Utthita Trikonasana. Step or jump, feet apart. For today, because you want a little bit more space, take your block for underneath your right hand. Keep the grounding in your back foot, resistance with your back arm. Because if I just go, then I'm collapsing. If I resist with the back arm, back leg, back foot, how am I able to open up? And that lightness that I felt from within, sitting, meditating, how is that same state in Trikonasana? So have a support underneath your hand. I think your name is it Sarah with the blue t-shirt and the white. Do you have a block under your hand? Yeah, good. Okay, make your distance a little bit bigger. Back foot back, so that there we go. Now there's a little bit more space. Watch those shoulders. Side ribs, Debbie, don't let them bulge out. Nice, Taylor. Just take that top arm a little bit back. So think of the, very nice, Alison. Think of that length of the right edge of your waist. Don't come forward, Priya, with your head. Otherwise, you're shrinking the front body. Feel the length of both your legs. Are they equal? If they're not, then widen the distance to create more extension in both legs. Feel the length on both edges of your waist. And now stretch in both your arms from the back of the sternum, how you can widen the sternum from inside. Now you have this beautiful open Trikonasana, how you can spread your awareness through the whole of the Trikonasana, spread your breath through the whole of the Trikonasana. Debbie, also your arm is coming too far over so that you don't have that space for opening the shoulders. Take it back a tiny bit. And then inhale, in one movement, come up. Change. Take your block to the other side. Right foot in, left leg all the way out. Hands onto your hips for a moment. Okay, so what happens as soon as we go too far one place, we lose the other. So if I'm taking my head too far back, I'm losing the awareness of the back of the neck, the length of the back of the body. If I bring my head too far forward, maybe the back is extending, but I've shrunken the front. So I want you to measure your own self. Feel both legs extending, both arms, front of the body, back of the body, sides of the body. I want you to spread your awareness and create a state of harmony between front, back, left, right, inside, outside, back to front, whichever way you can measure, you're going to measure. Stretch your arms. Now already, what is the length in the spine, in the waist? What is the width that you've got across your pose, from the left to right, right to left? Now, when you go into Trikonasana, you're going to only expand the space, not shrink it. Inhale. As you exhale, resist with your right foot, right arm, and continue to create that sense of expansion in all directions. Lengthwise, widthwise, sides of your body, back of your body. Especially we have to watch the left side and the back. Those are the parts that want to shrink the most. And then there's those opposites. Some people taking their head too far back, some people taking the head too far forward. So measure the left edge of the spine. Is it as long as the right? Left edge of the waist. If it's not, how do you make it longer? Simon, rentre ses côtes de côté droite. Right side ribs, bring them in to extend the left side ribs. Good. Keep breathing. Priya, where are you looking? Look forward. That's it. For now, because you're not turning the head until you've turned the whole spine from the hips. So you can start to go for that rotation. Nisha, I've got a great view of your right hip, right femur bone. Turn it in the hip sockets. Bring the tailbone forward. Turn the hips, waist, chest, and only at the end, if the head feels free, can you turn the head. I've got a nice view of your legs, Amanda, but not, I have the impression that your left side could be longer, even though I can't see much. Breathe into that space. And then with an inhalation, pull yourself up lightly. Where was the pull? Turn your feet forward. Light jump, feet together. Okay. So coming out of the pose is not about your physical ability. It's about your discipline of your consciousness. And we speak about this regularly, how often you just throw things away when you're coming out. Can you imagine a pilot at the end of your flight deciding, oh, we're there, I'm just going to let go of the controls as we land? It won't be a good thing. So don't let go of your consciousness until 20 minutes after the class is finished, okay? Let's go. Ardha Chandrasana with that same sense of opening and expansion and consciousness spread throughout your pose. Have your block to the right. Inhale, jump or step, but with a sense of opening the body from inside, left foot in, right leg all the way out. Already turning to the left, because we don't want to collapse to the right. Exhale, extend through Trikonasana. Those of you who struggle a little bit with the balance can take your hand onto it. Do not look at the floor. Before you even go into Ardha Chandrasana, is the right edge of your waist long? Bend your right leg, almost like Parsvakonasana, and extend that right edge of your waist. Then step the brick away and your foot in one movement. Now lifting that top hip and stretching your back foot. Lift the back leg, then the front leg. Back leg lifts, the front leg, right leg follows. Bring the right buttock bone forward, left hip up. Stretch both legs. Watch that standing leg, that it's not hanging back. Stretch both arms. Stretch across the collarbone, stretch across the shoulder blades. Again, can you have that awareness of both legs, both arms, both edges of the waist, front and the back of the trunk, inner edges, outer edges, back leg, front leg, edges of your neck. And now, those of you who are steady with your balance, begin to turn more. Back leg, Nisha, is not stretching enough. That's why it's heavy and coming down. And turn, turn, turn from your hips until you can look up at the top hand. If that's not happening, just stay looking forward, but do not look at the floor. Alison, you are sneakily close to that wall with your head. And bend your front leg. Keep the back leg light, light, light. Step far back. Come back with a sense of lightness, grace, space. Inhale, come up. And change sides. Take your block to the other side. Turn. Right thigh to the right. Left to the left. Use your breath. Moving with your breath. Opening with your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Extend, extend, extend. Utthita Trikonasana first. Don't look. Why do you need to look at the floor? You can find the block. Or start with it in your hand. Look forward. Because the minute you look down, you're pulling everything down. Hips, chest, energy. Bend your leg. And we're holding it a bit longer here so that you get that length. The length in the left waist. Now keep the left foot straight. It's not allowed to shift. Step your left hand away, right foot in one movement. Stay here for a moment. Don't be in a hurry. Make sure your front leg is straight, front foot is straight. Now stretch that back foot. Make it supercharged, super light as the back leg lifts, how you can lift. That's it. Now bring your left buttock in. As you bring your left buttock forward, keep your front waist to back waist. Your back leg is sleeping. Who's lifting there and struggling? Amanda, come on. You're struggling because of how inconsistent the stretch is. Priya, same thing. Supercharge that back leg. Supta Padangusthasana, back leg. Taylor, your buttock is flying backwards, your left buttock. Bring it forward and lift your right hip on top of the left hip. That's it. Front waist to back waist. Tammy, your back leg can go up a fraction. It's good that you're not overlifting it. Simon aussi. Nisha also, lift that back leg. Lift it. And don't hang in your standing leg. Ay, ay, ay. Priya, your foot is skew. Okay, slowly come down. Are you still feeling that sense of inner connection, of brain quiet, of breath? Inhale, come up. Okay, so we can't give anything less importance. We can't say that our inner sense is less important than the outer body, but we can't say that our body is less important either, because when we struggle with the body, we forget about everything else. So when we well trained, in a sense, when our body has opened, has become light, how much easier is it to sense what's happening inside? When it's difficult and painful and heavy on the outside, how that almost entraps us and stops us from feeling that other sense. Okay, so that's why all these what seem like technical points are not for the sake of being technical, are for the sake of going somewhere deeper. So let's do Ardha Chandrasana at least one more time, maybe two more, till we can get that sense of lightness. And your back leg is key. In all the standing poses, just wait for a moment. For example, Trikonasana, if I let go of my back leg, I'm doing a terrible Trikonasana. I might not be falling over, but I might as well be. Virabhadrasana 2, I have to have my back leg, all of them. So just because your back leg is now off the floor does not mean that it doesn't have that same life and same firmness. I often say to you that when you put your foot into the wall and you're now suddenly stable, the wall is actually an illusion. What's really creating the stability is how you're pushing into your foot, not the wall itself. Say I was against a wall, but I wasn't pushing into my leg. The wall wouldn't actually help. The wall gives me feedback of how I can work my leg. So if I work my leg in the same way, in space, I should have that same stability, whether the wall is there or not. I hope I'm making sense. So let's do it again. How would you push your foot if it was into the wall? With that stability of the back leg, the back foot, how the rest of the pose can develop, can open, can become light and effortless. You all know that this is my favorite standing pose, and I want you to experience that same sense of wonderfulness. Off you go. Simon, t'es prêt? On y va. Let's go. Light jump. Debbie, you're already anticipating going to the right. Look how far you've turned to the right with your hips. There's a resistance. I want, turn your head and look to the left. Put your mind in the outer edge of your left foot. As you exhale, now look forward, but your mind is still connected into your back foot. Bend your right leg. You can have your brick. Take your hand onto your hip for now. So all your focus is in your back leg. As you step your right hand away and left foot in, charge your left leg again. Push like Supta Padangusthasana. Ball of your big toe in the heel as you stretch your leg away and up. Light, Anisha. Come on, stretch. Light. I want a sense of lightness in your back leg. That's better, Priya. Good. There we go. Now, as if Your foot was into a wall. Très bien, Simon. What would that stability be? Tammy, you're looking at the floor. That's also why you're not stable. Now, from that stability in the back leg and the back foot, start to develop the opening of the rest of the pose. Turn the hips. Lift the left hip on top of the right as you bring the right buttock forward. Open your chest. Stretch the top arm if you haven't already, as long as your balance is good enough. Back leg, Nisha, you was doing well earlier. It's going back to sleep again. And now slowly bend that front leg. Keep the back leg light. Back leg light. Go down, 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 and step far back with your foot. And inhale, come up, Trikonasana. And hands on your hips for a moment. Okay. It was better in the pose. Coming back is still moyen, medium, average. Could be a whole lot better. Let's go. So what happens? You think the pose is over. Some little part of you thinks, thank God it's finished, and it lets go. It's not finished. Don't let go. Okay, I told you 20 minutes after the class. Last time I told you 3 breaths after you come back to Tadasana. That's not working. Your consciousness is still disappearing. So you are here until this afternoon. Okay, let's go. Other side. Ardha Chandrasana. Breathe, spread, open, across the pelvis, across the chest, across the back of the pelvis, across the shoulder blades. Inhale. Exhale. Utthita Trikonasana. Back leg. We didn't turn the head, but place your mind into your back foot. Bend your left leg. Either you're using the brick or not. Step your hand away. Now be here. Charge the ball of your foot. Now I want that leg so extended. Inner leg. Ball of your big toe, inner heel. Stretch your leg away and up. Now, as if your foot is into the wall, that firmness in that back leg is helping to create that rotation in your hips. That opening again across the front of the pelvis, back of the pelvis. Collarbones, shoulder blades. Pull the shoulder blades back, down your back, suck the shoulder blades in. Expanding behind the sternum with the stretch of your arms. Take your other arm up if you haven't. So I've stayed to come back with you. Now charge your back leg again. Don't just collapse it. Keep the back leg where it is and bend the front leg. Lift the back leg, bend the front leg. Lift the back leg and then step far back. Better. Trikonasana. Breathe. Inhale, up. Turn your feet forward. Light jump, feet together. Tadasana. Shoulders back and down, breathe. Good. That was much, much better. Okay. Now that we've done the work, now we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and we're going to do it for a 3rd time in silence. I'm going to do my best. I always say I'm not going to say anything, and then I do. I will restrain myself, and you will be super present within yourself, okay? So we both have our work to do, and we're going to feel the pose. What state does Ardha Chandrasana create? What openness, what lightness, what balance, what beauty is created from within in Ardha Chandrasana? Off you go. I'm going to do it with you. Absolute silence. Bend the front leg, step back. Other side. Wonderful. Good. Prepare yourself to go to the left. You don't have to rush out. Those of you that are feeling it, stay longer, it's okay. We'll do an Uttanasana afterwards. So you want to stay in, then you stay in longer. Good, Misha. Oh, I spoke too soon. But it was better. Okay. Uttanasana, feet hip wide, either hands on your hips or arms up to go forward. Concave spine for a moment. When you're ready, release forward. Keep those legs lifted, Priya. I don't mind if you take blocks under your hands. Although you can stretch your legs with your hands in the position that they are. Hold your elbows if you're ready. Inhale, slowly come up. Tammy should be giving you a lecture on how much your legs are stretching, not just Priya. Come up. Good. Prasarita Padottanasana. Outer edges of your feet parallel. Okay. Ground the outer edges of your feet as you lift the inner edges of your, well, lift the arches, lift the inner ankles up and out, inner leg up and out. Again, this feeling, not that you're trying to expand from outside, even if you think of not just inside your body expanding out, but the inner layers, the inner part of the posture. From there, you're moving outwards. So instead of pulling out from the outer leg, I'm moving out from the inner leg, creating openness, extension from the inner legs, inner arms. Lift up. Now how you lift the trunk from inside, from the organic body, not just the outer layers. How you lift the inner layers of the ribs, not the outer layers. Keep the sense of expansion and lift as you hinge from your hips and come forward. Hold easily because your legs are so firm, so steady, so stable. How you can hold it halfway, effortlessly. Effortless effort. So because the legs are so firm, because they're doing what they need to do in balance, it feels almost like there's no effort. Of course there's effort, but it's so well balanced that there's a sense of ease. Then fingertips to the floor, rotation of your upper arms, and draw your sternum forward. Not just the sternum, draw from the pubic bone forward and create that concave spine. Lower back, middle back, top back, head and neck curving. Now all the space that you've created, all this length gets maintained as you go down. So don't think of going with the head. Go with the length of the trunk, 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 and take your hands further back as you go. And when you cannot go any further, you roll your head, roll your inner ears, roll your brain, roll your eyes, without losing that length. So the finalization is placing the head. But when you place the head, it's done in a way that all that structure that you worked on to get there is not lost. Take whatever support you need for under your head. Taylor, grab a brick or something. Not too high, not too low. So sometimes you need 2 blocks. Tammy, you need to imagine that you've got somebody on either side of you that has a rope on the inside of your legs, above your knees, below your knees, and that are pulling your legs up and out so that they're not collapsing inwards. You should be able to stay. Now, brain quiet and outer body lifting. Lift your buttocks, lift your thighs, lift your inner ankles. Good with your shoulders, Tammy. Taylor, your hands are a little bit close together. Take them a little bit further apart. That's it. And now, how is your breath woven into the pose? How is your breath sustaining your Prasarita Padottanasana? Les mains plats maintenant, Simon, et les coudes un peu plus proches. Les coudes restent parallèles les uns à l'autre. Watch. Now you're holding. Now don't begin to hang. Continue to create the pose. Because if you're not in the creation stage, then you're in the distraction stage, the decomposition. Don't let your pose decompose. Compose yourself. Create the pose. And then stretch your arms where they are. See how much you can keep your heels of your hands to the floor without aggressing the wrists, without aggressing the elbows. Supercharge your legs again. You're in concave spine, Sarah, now. Knees are lifted, kneecaps lifted, quadriceps lifted, and look forward and stretch your arms, but keeping your hands where they are. That's it. And not just curving the neck, curving the whole back. And then hands onto your hips. Where is the weight of the pose? Very good. Okay, all of you, most of you, okay, come up. Sorry, wasn't for all of you. It was mostly for Tammy. Heel toe, and step your feet together. Okay, so unfortunately, fortunately, super fortunately, we have Zoom, right? But there are times when I wish we could be in the same room, and especially that we could have the ropes against the wall, or we could have some people. So Tammy, I was saying, I want you to imagine this. So on the inner thigh and below the knee, and if you had this on both sides and somebody was pulling, because your legs, and it's not just Tammy, it's happening for a few of you, Taylor also, the legs are kind of sinking in instead of pulling up and out. And if they sink in, then you have weight going into your knees, weight going into your lumbar. So then the pose is kind of being destroyed, that decomposition, that hanging, that losing the structure of the pose. So the legs are foundational to many poses, even when the feet aren't on the floor. For example, Shirsasana, headstand. If we cannot work the legs in headstand, the pose collapses, even though the legs are up, not down. If we cannot work the legs in Prasarita Padasana, the legs, the whole pose collapses with the legs. So that's why, especially in Iyengar Yoga, standing poses are so important, because we have to learn to work the legs, not overstretch, not understretch, not hang, but place the joints well. Okay, and then that is going to help with so many other things, and especially the inversions. All right, okay, so talking about inversions, those doing Shirsasana are going to do Shirsasana. If you're not doing Shirsasana, you are going to do Prasarita Padottanasana again, really working the lift of the legs and the lift of the shoulders. Because if you can lift the shoulders and keep the action in the legs, when you get into Shirsasana, it's just a small step. Okay, if you can't hold Prasarita Padasana as long as you're going to be in Shirsasana, then when you come out of Prasarita Padottanasana, you're going to do Uttanasana, also with the crown of the head on a support and holding around your
your ankles and lifting your shoulders. So lifted legs, lifted shoulders, resting brain.
Shirsasana, your work is the same. Lifted shoulders, firm legs, resting brain. Not much difference, okay? So off you go. You have 3 options. Headstand, well, 2. Headstand, and if you're not doing headstand, you're doing Prasarita Padottanasana, the same pose we just did, Simon, la même chose, les pieds écartés, la tête vers le bas. This is a preparation for headstand, Prasarita Padottanasana. So, doesn't matter whether you're in headstand or Prasarita Padottanasana, your head is down, your brain is resting, eyes are quiet, temples are quiet, but shoulders are lifting. Shoulder blades. Alison, you're hanging. Come on, more. Suck the shoulder blades in as you lift them up. And now your legs, inner legs. Prasarita Padottanasana, the legs may be apart. Shirsasana, they may be together, but your inner legs are active. Debbie, stretch those inner legs and keep your inner ankles together if you're in Shirsasana. How quiet can your brain be and how lifted can the outer structure be? So we always need opposite directions. Legs, shoulders going up, inner organs quietly resting down. Your abdomen is relaxed, diaphragm relaxed, heart, lungs relaxed, eyes, brain relaxed, and I'm talking to everybody. Those in Prasarita Padottanasana, if it's feeling too much, make sure that you come up with those lifted legs. And you'll heel toe your feet together. Ah, Simon, c'est un peu une main après l'autre. You did it very fast. You thought I might not see, but I did. And come into Uttanasana, feet hip wide and crown of your head onto your bricks. Those of you in headstand, tailbone in. Okay, Nisha, it's not that you have to stay if you can't anymore, but at least keep enough energy, ability to come down with a little bit more control. If you come down too fast, then there's going to be more than likely a collapsing in the shoulders. So rather come down a few moments sooner to come down with a bit more control. Front waist to back waist. In your Shirsasana, how can you lift? How can you align the front and the back of the body, the sides of the body? The inner legs, the outer legs, the front legs, the back legs. So the work that we started from the beginning, that same concept of creating evenness, spreading awareness everywhere, and creating a sense of lightness and space from within. How can your Shirsasana feel almost effortless? So Sarah, you can come now, feet are hip wide, and take your head down again. And keep those knees lifted a little bit more. Inner thighs lifted a bit more. Watch that you don't start to hang the abdomen forward in Shirsasana. So the longer you stay, you have to catch yourself if you begin to hang. Good, Alison, very good. Because your Shirsasana is better now than it was at the beginning. And that's what you want. The sense of constantly creating and evolving in an asana that you are holding. So from the outside, it looks like you're holding, but from inside, you're not, you're evolving. And then firm upper back, keep the shoulders lifted, dorsal spine in, and slowly come down. Those in Shirsasana, you can slowly come up. Watch your lower back, Sarah, from the tailbone. Don't hang your lumbar forward. Bring your abdomen back and tailbone, buttocks down to come up from your Uttanasana. Not bad, Taylor. You became a little bit fast the last little bit, but it was good. Well done. Okay, good. Now everybody, unless you're menstruating, tummy. I'm so glad I saw that. That was very naughty. You came up totally from your lumbar there. No, and I could see you felt uncomfortable. Am I right? Yes, you're laughing because I'm right. Okay, Ardha Vrikshasana, handstand. If you're menstruating, you'll do half Uttanasana. First with your fingertips to the wall, and then your hands flat into the wall, so that you can still get that extension in the spine, rotation in your arms, that pushing away from the wall with your hands. And if you're doing full arm balance, don't just hang there. Once you're up, don't hang, push away. And now, how your legs work. Pull yourself up. Pull. And if, Sarah, for your neck, if you can turn your hands out, that will create more rotation, exactly, fingers turning out, and your neck is hanging free. So this shouldn't create any tension in your neck. It might be challenging for your shoulders, however, and so that's why I give you the option of turning your hands out. Initially, it feels more difficult, but actually it's easier, because with the hands turned out, you get a better position of the upper arm. Okay, so it's really just a mental thing that it feels more difficult. So anybody who's struggling with neck and shoulders, do Ardha Vrikshasana with your hands turning out. Tammy, step back a little bit further from the wall. That's it, so that you can, there we go. Now work those legs. Those of you who are in full arm balance, Ardha Vrikshasana, use the stretch of your legs to create a sense of lightness. Very nice, good. And how? The front and back, inner edges, outer edges of your arms, your legs are all stretching. And how you can expand the space behind your sternum and breathe behind your sternum to create a sense of creating the pose from inside, not just from outside. Debbie, you're much more straight today, not hanging. You're not about to knock that painting off the wall next to you. Okay. And come down, Uttanasana for a moment. Those of you who are doing half Uttanasana, you're going to do standing Gomukhasana. So anybody not doing handstand or has had enough of handstand, you do standing Gomukhasana, cow face pose in Tadasana. Otherwise, Ardha Vrikshasana again. And all these shoulder openings are also helping you to get to do handstand. So there has to be a certain amount of opening in the shoulders to go upside down without stressing the shoulders and the elbows and the wrists. That's it. Now don't let those buttocks hang, Amanda. Pull them up the wall. Don't let the abdomen hang forward. Think of the length of the back of your body. Slide your heels up the wall to pull the top buttocks away from the lumbar. Pull the legs so much up that without you thinking that you want to take the legs away from the wall, they almost start to come away a little bit by themselves. And if you don't have that front waist to back waist and the heels start to come away from the wall, you'll fall forward. But if you have the front waist to back waist and the heels come away, then you begin to balance. I don't know if that makes sense. You get one more chance to try it. Those of you who did standing Gomukhasana, if you've done both, you'll do interlock your fingers behind your back, roll your shoulders back, and start to lift the arms. But you're going to also watch that when you lift the arms, you're not going to let the buttocks fly and the lumbar collapse. How you can keep this top buttocks down, front waist to back waist. And you'll do both interlocks of your fingers. Your feet can be apart. Head stays on top of your spine. That's it. Amanda, what you waiting for? You should do one thing or another. Ardha Vrikshasana or opening of the shoulders in Gomukhasana. Alison, lovely. You had a moment there of balance. Did you feel it? Good. I'm sure you did. Even the briefest moment of balance in Ardha Mukha Vrikshasana, Pincha Mayurasana feels wonderful. Don't let that, now lengthen the back body, Amanda. Suck your shoulder blades in, front waist to back waist, and don't let your bum hang down. That's it. Pull the buttocks up, pull the buttocks up, pull the buttocks up, front waist to back waist. It was better. You had a moment where things were coming into alignment. It was good. Okay, and everybody, Uttanasana, hold your elbows, change the cross of your elbows from the last time. And even though this is a resting Uttanasana, it does not mean it's a collapsing Uttanasana. So your inner ankles are still lifted, inner legs are still lifted. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Breathe. Relax your jaw, your eyes, your brain. Go back inside. Reconnect with that sense of inner space, of your breath, your mind, your body woven together. Watch the back of your calf, Alison, so that it's not, you can extend the leg without overstretching, without hanging. Suck the center of the calf in. That's it. Good. Keep breathing. And then inhale, slowly come up. So luckily I've just checked the time, but it's, I don't know, for you like me, we've already done an hour like that. How time flies when you're having fun. It's a good thing I checked because I might have you here for another hour or two. Never mind, just half an hour. So we're not going to get through everything, but that's okay because it's about the state that we're creating, you know, and if that's what we got, then we did well. Okay, so just a moment. Now, it depends on your wrists. If for your wrists to do Vashti Sasana is going to be too much, you're going to do just standing against the wall and spreading the hand and getting that rotation across both shoulders. And again, Vashti Sasana is everything we've been talking about. You have to be aware of both sides. We have to be aware of the front and the back because we want to hang in the pose. So what we want to do, I'll show from one side. You're going to start from Ardha Mukha Svanasana. What some people do is hang down. What other people do is hang up. And then what happens from the front and back is even worse. Buttocks fly back and the lumbar goes forward instead of being stacked. So I want you to measure all around, front, back, left, right, bottom side, front, inner legs, outer legs. Everything has to be playing its role so that you feel in balance, that you feel that you can hold this Vajrasana for 5 minutes each side. I may or may not keep you 5 minutes, you never know. So do your best to find that balanced state. And I don't just mean balance that you don't fall over. I mean balance to create ease. And if you're doing it against the wall, it doesn't matter. You're still aware of all those different sides. So come into Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Dog pose, head down. Stretch your arms, stretch your legs. Keep that full extension in your arms and your legs as you turn onto your right side. Simplify Vajrasana. Now extend your inner legs. Feel the connection with the femur bones inwards. So if one is lifting out, you know you're either lifting or hanging. Feel that equal length along the right and left side. So Amanda, your hips are lifting. Debbie, lifting a tiny bit. Priya, lovely. That's it. Watch Sarah, that top arm, it's flying too far back. Bring it a little bit forward. That's it. Relax your throat. Simon, pas mal du tout. Nisha, on your side or in the wall, I don't mind. And turn Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Très bien, Simon. Les poignets sont mieux? Un peu? Super. Okay. If you feel it in your wrist, I want you to make sure that you're not hanging in the wrist. So just bend your legs and look for a moment. Although we have spoken about it before, it bears reminding, not just me reminding you, you know it, it's you reminding yourself. We can easily just hang in this part of the hand. And how we take the weight to the whole surface. Heel side, finger side, thumb side, little finger side. So that the weight is spread and that the arm is not hanging back, but is pushing away to bring the weight here. Because otherwise what happens, so I'm going to do it not on the floor, but I'll give you an impression, we kind of do that there's a sinking here. And we have to do that. Bring the weight here and bring the back of the arm away, not in. So what we spoke about in Ardha Chandrasana, that sense of expansion, and from the inner layers. So here's in Vajrasana, what's the outer layer? Here's the outer arm. Here's the inner arm. I'm not talking about what's normally your outer or inner arm. I'm talking about what's facing inside and what's facing outside. And sometimes that can change depending on the pose. So your inner arm is moving away, is creating expansion, okay? Your inner part of the hand is where the heel of the hand is. You're taking it, the weight, expanding the weight to the whole hand. So there's the sense of widening, and in that widening, in that expansion, how it becomes easy, how it becomes light. As soon as we shrink and hang, it becomes heavy and we take strain in different joints of the body, all right? Other side. Don't worry, I'll give you a turn again to do it on the right side, okay? Turn onto your left side now. Now bring the tailbone forward, so balance between the front and the back of the body. Inner legs, outer legs, that's a bit better, Amanda, with the hips. Now, that inner arm, inner left arm, pull it away to take the weight across the whole left hand. The tricep to the bicep, widen this triangle you have between the left side of your body and your left arm. Expand now the extension of both arms. Breathe, get a sense of lightness, of ease, of the ability that you could stay here indefinitely. Charge the body to create that lightness. And then turn to the floor. Ardha Chandrasana, dog pose, head down. That's it. Do you feel, Amanda, a little bit of what I was talking about? Good. Bend your legs for a moment. Head to the floor, knees to buttocks to the floor, Yoga Mudrasana, in Virasana, knees together, feet together. Take your hands behind your back, hook your thumbs, roll your shoulders back and stretch your arms back up and over. If you need your belt around your wrists, you can do so. Sarah, lift those shoulders away from your ears. No traffic jam, no lift. You lift it for a second and then you drop it again. Keep it lifted. Not bad, Tammy. Très bien, Simon. Watch those over mobile elbows, Priya. You have to resist with the inner arms out. I don't even mind if you use your belt. Okay, yes, exactly. Okay. And then, good, Taylor, rotation of your arms. Rotate, rotate. That's better. It's not just pulling the arms back. How much are you rotating the upper arms? Hands onto your back and release your arms to either side. And relax for a moment. And then second hook of your thumbs, or use your belt again. Now, rotation of those upper arms from inside out to get the movement of the shoulder blades. Pull your shoulder blades down your back, away from your neck, away from your ears. Pull with your arms up to the ceiling to lift the points of the shoulders. away from the floor to create an arc in your collarbones. That's it. So come on. I've got I can only just see your shoulders, Sarah, not even, but I want to see them all lift. There we go. So I don't want your shoulders here. Pull them away. That's it. There we go. That's what I want to see. It's not how far your arms are coming forward. It's what space are you creating in your shoulders? What mobility are you creating? And then hands onto your back and release for a moment. Okay. So with the arms behind the back, especially if we give ourselves enough space for those who struggle to move with the belt, we're getting this rotation of the arm and we're getting the shoulder blade to come in because we're pulling the arm back one way and the shoulder blade in the other way. So now in Vashisthasana, even though the arm is to the side, can we get that same rotation and that same absorption of the shoulder blade into the chest? So we're not doing Vashisthasana with this shape of the chest. We're doing Vashisthasana with that shape. Vashisthasana. My mouth, I'm talking too much, too fast. Okay, off you go. Ardha Chandrasana into simplified Vashisthasana. Dog pose it down, Tammy. Ardha Chandrasana. That's it. Now already get the rotation in your upper arms. Already in dog pose, you should also be watching the weight spread over the hands. Now turn onto the outer edge of your right foot. Come onto your right side. Now spreading the pose. Push back into your feet. Drop the hips a little bit. Sarah. That's it. Now, inner upper arm, pull it away, tricep to bicep, expand the space of your pose from inside, not just from inside your chest, yes, but from the inner edges of the body, without lifting the hips, of course. Again, Sarah, that top arm is flying too far back. Breathe. And release. Priya, I would even do it against the wall so that you can work on stabilizing that arm and work on not hanging in the elbow. Okay, doesn't help to do it on the floor and your arm is bending and your elbow is doing all kinds of odd things. Okay, to other side. So whether you're on the wall, whether you're on the floor, sense of expansion. I'm glad your back is to me this time, Debbie, because I can see the shortness in the lumbar. Come on, tailbone buttocks away from the lumbar and front waist to back waist, exactly where you're putting your hand. Open that space. You're taking your arm too far over your head. Alison, drop that top hip a little bit. Very nice, Amanda. It's improved hugely. Breathe. Simon, tu montes un peu trop le bassin. Not bad, Nisha. Anything is better than nothing. And then Ardha Chandrasana, dog pose head down. Oh, Amanda, I wish I had a before and after picture of how you used to do this. It's looking beautiful. Good. Ardha Chandrasana, good one. Spread the weight. Don't get lazy. Just because you feel a tiny bit tired, you shouldn't feel tired. You should feel energized and open and light and amazing. And then step forward and Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, or Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, feet into the wall. Have a brick for underneath your feet if you need. Please, if you're doing Setu Bandha, tie your thighs at least, or your feet. Your brick can be either the same height as the brick under your tailbone, or you can take the brick slightly lower if your lumbar allows. So Setu Bandha Sarvangasana with the brick. And again, in Setu Bandha, you are rolling onto those shoulders and pulling your shoulder blades in. And I want you to feel from inside your body how you opening the rib cage, how you breathing behind the sternum. And the same, those of you doing shoulder stand, Sarvangasana, specifically today, I want you to have that sense of expansion and space behind the sternum bone, and how from that space you create the pose. You create the extension in your legs. You create the lift. and everything that you're doing from behind the sternum bone. I'm going to speak very little, and you are going to watch yourself, observe yourself maintaining and creating. Think more of creation than maintenance. My teacher often says that there is no such thing as maintaining. If you maintain, you're going to end up going backwards. So keep thinking that there's an evolution of the asana, of yourself in the asana, the longer you stay. So that your pose doesn't start to decompose, but that there's a continuous sense of expansion from within, sense of space, of breath, of lightness, of harmony between your body, your breath, your inner state, your mind. That's it, Alison. It's better. That tailbone is coming in more. You feel how it becomes much lighter when the tailbone comes in and doesn't hang back. And how do you use your legs to pull upwards to create that lightness? If your legs are heavy, like in Ardha Chandrasana, if the leg is heavy, you're going to feel like it is hard work to stay in the pose. If you, and this is the kind of paradox that happens, if you do more with the legs, it becomes easier, becomes lighter. The pose becomes sustainable for a longer time with that sense of effortless effort, because everything is doing enough. Don't do enough, and how it becomes heavy and dull and a strain to keep the pose. Good. Everywhere it's looking a bit better. Priya and Debbie also. The angle is a little bit difficult, Nisha, but it does seem like you're hanging over your face too much. So I don't know if you just use the chair to go up, but that's it. Careful not to harden your throat, and don't let your legs hang over your head. Bring your tailbone forward, pubic bone forward, and legs up and back a bit. Okay. And of course, the longer you stay, the more present you have to be to evolve on different layers of being, evolve the pose from inside to keep that lightness, to keep that openness, and to continue to expand the sense of inner space, inner self, how you are creating your Savangasana, your Setu Bandha from inside. And those of you in Savangasana, come into Halasana. Interlock your fingers, stretch your arms back, or take your wrists into the belt. Priya, use the belt around your wrists. And how? Now those inner elbows, inner upper arms, you have to pull them outwards. Just as you're pushing your wrists out against the belt. There we go. That's okay. You obviously pull out. That's it. So you feel it's not all happening in your elbows. Upper arms, shoulder blades, dorsal spine, all have to play their role so that the elbows aren't overdoing. That's it, Taylor. Keep rolling onto your arms. Stretch those arms away as you take that upper arms downwards. Take your edges of your wrists down. And lengthen the wrists. So don't shorten the wrists to take them down. Lengthen the bottom wrist to take them down. That's it. And then suck the shoulder blades and dorsal spine in. And you need to make a certain amount of space for the dorsal spine shoulder blades to come in. So the thighs have to lift. The waist has to lift a little bit. Or a lot, I should say. Nisha, you can do, I was just about to say, you read my mind. Baddha Konasana in Chair Sarvangasana. Those of you who are in Setu Bandha, if you're ready to come out, bend your legs, lift your hips 2, 3, 4 times, and slowly come down. Those of you who had interlocked the fingers in Halasana, change the interlock of your fingers. That's it. Come on, Priya, keep those inner upper arms. Don't get lazy. Extend the bottom of your wrists so that your hands aren't dropping to the floor. That's better. And pull your inner upper arms outwards. Pull your inner elbows outwards. The rest of you can slowly come down. Priya, just keep working another 10 seconds, those arms. I want you to start to feel how the bones of the arms become aligned, how you place them well into the elbow joint so that there's not this bending like in the wrong part of the elbow. There shouldn't be any bending in this halasana anyway. And then everybody slowly come out. And everybody come and do simple cross legs, Sukhasana or Swastikasana. Sit on a little height if you need. Take something from underneath your head if you need, and come forward. Yoga Mudrasana and Swastikasana. And actually, those of you that have come out of shoulder stand, if you want to come into Paschimottanasana instead, then you have that option. So either, but if you came out of Setu Bandha with the brick under your tailbone, definitely do cross legs. If you came out of shoulder stand, you have the option going forward with cross legs or going forward in Paschimottanasana, sitting on the edge of the support that you did shoulder stand on. Your head is supported now with whatever you need, a brick, a chair, anything. Priya, for simple crossed legs, that height is a little high and you could be more on the edge of the support also because you almost have lost the grounding in your buttocks. You're almost tipping over. So you should still have that sense of grounding in the buttocks as you go forward. Okay. Rest your brain, physically letting your brain rest to the support. Relax your temples, your eyes, breathe. Those of you in Paschimottanasana, stay. Those of you in Swastikasana or Sukhasana, inhale, come up and change the cross of your legs and go forward again. Or Ardha Padmasana or Padmasana if you want to, also at the end. But do the same that you did on the first side, just the second cross. Okay. Is that thick enough, that roll that you put behind your knee, Tammy? Okay, good. Hands a little wider also, Tammy. At least shoulder width, not narrower. Again, relax your jaw, your eyes, your brain. Relax your hips, your buttocks, your abdomen. And then inhale, slowly come up. And come and lie in Shavasana, corpse pose. Make sure you're warm enough. Make sure there's space for your legs to release away from you, your arms to release away from either side. If you're cold, I often find that it helps to put the blanket over and put your arms over the blanket, unless you've placed something underneath your arms, another blanket, because the floor takes the heat away from your body faster, so that a little bit of insulation of the blanket between your arms and the floor helps. So last moments to position yourself, make any adjustments that you need, and then staying in this quiet state where you surrender yourself to your breath, to your exhalations, surrender yourself to the earth, sinking deeper and deeper into the earth, surrendering yourself into that deep, vast space within. Keep going with your exhalations. Keep consciously letting go again and again. Let go your whole body. Exhale, let go completely. Let go completely. And slowly come back to your inhalations. Let your inhalations spread to touch each and every cell of your whole body. With your inhalations, feeling a sense of space, of lightness within you and all around you. And then slowly preparing yourself to come out. Bend your legs, feet on the floor. Tailbone buttocks away from you before rolling onto your right side. And stay there for a moment. And slowly turn in towards the floor. Inhale and come up. Join your hands. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a beautiful day. Remember, your consciousness is not over yet. You have to carry it forward into the rest of your day. And see you all soon, maybe Saturday, maybe tomorrow. And yeah, enjoy the state that I hope was created from within for you today. Lots of love.
Thank you so much.